And for guests and visitors, I'm Joe Patchen. I'm president of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. This is our 15th meeting of the 51st year of our club. And if you would, please, Jerry, lead us in an invocation and pledge.
We still don't have a microphone?
This looks like it one. I don't know if it's on.
Can anybody but God hear me?
That's the audience.
No. Okay, I'll try to speak softly. Bow your heads. Prepare your hearts as we pray to a supreme being. Today, we need some help. The world, I'm afraid we haven't done well with. People are ill and have no hope. People are hungry and have no food. People are in despair and they need us. Be with us, be with our club, be with all of Rotary, that we can be your tools to help those who need us. We thank you for this food. May it build our bodies so that we can be an effective tool. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go Bucks.
Play ball. And Emily would be announcing our visitors, but we don't have any besides our speaker, and we will introduce our speaker in due course. So I'd just like to say, speaking of attendance, thanks all who came out for our last meeting, which had to be moved at the last moment, and which was held during a blizzard. And thanks to all who made that happen and were able to attend. Emily, I will ask you to come up for announcements, and anybody else who'd like to make an announcement. But first, Emily is going to show us a presentation on the Dolly Parton Imagination Library initiative that we'd like to be taking part of.
Good afternoon, all. So I sent out an email this morning for those of you who have had a chance to check it yet, but the president-elect in Ohio have a project going with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library to raise money, and this program gives books out to children, and the families don't have to pay for the books. I'll let the video go into more detail about the program, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more.
I would say Branda Wine. I'm joined by my friend Jennifer Best, a 20-year Rotarian who works with me as Chief Financial Officer of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio. We want to say thank you. We are so honored that the district governors have selected Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio as this year's nonprofit partner. Through your Unite for Good efforts, Rotarians across the state, together, we can't wait to see how many more free books we can get into the hands of Ohio's moveless learners. There are so many ways that this partnership will improve the lives of children and families in each of our communities. Reading is one of the best things we can do with our children and for our children. Reading aloud enhances a child's language and development. We want to encourage reading as early as possible. That's because experts say nearly 80% of a child's brain is developed by the age of 3. We don't have a moment to waste. Recently, we started an effort to get more infants signed up at the Imagination Library at birth. Now, when moms give birth at an Ohio hospital, fill out the birth certificate paperwork, they are asked if they want to sign up for the Imagination Library program. Signing up when the child is a day or two old, the child gets the full benefit of the book program. That's a free, age-appropriate book each month until a child's 5th birthday. 60 books in all. Thank you so much for your support of the Imagination Library.
Yes, I echo what the First Lady said. Thank you. As a longtime Rotarian who is involved in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio, it is very special to me that these two organizations are united. The support you and Rotary clubs are giving to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library of Ohio is so valuable. Your great effort will allow us to continue growing our program and signing up more children, especially newborns. Currently, the Imagination Library is reaching 70% of households that have a child under the age of 5 in Ohio. This is great, and we want to see that continue to increase. We know that we continue to grow our program thanks to partners who help cover the cost of books, like Rotarians. The Imagination Library is free to all participating families, but of course, it's not free. Each book the Imagination Library provides actually costs $2.60. Half of that cost is paid by our statewide program through the generosity of our friends in the Ohio legislature. The other half by a local partner in every county. Donations from a local Rotary will support books in that local Rotary's area or the Rotary district. So the direct impact will stay local, benefiting children near you. I am delighted and proud to be a Rotarian, and I am so thankful that we as Rotarians are supporting the Imagination Library.
We want all children to reach their God-given potential. Getting books into their little hands early, often and always a great start. And we know because research shows that books in the home help kids become better prepared to start kindergarten. I know that we all want our children to enter school with a good, strong start.
Thanks again for making such an incredible impact, investing in our kids.
Thank you, partnering with us, for giving the gift of literacy and for helping to encourage more lifelong learners here in Ohio. The heart of it all. We are grateful.
Okay, so that is the Imagination Library and our very own Jennifer Best, who's not here today, but there's a few ways that you can participate. So if you look at the flyers I put out on the tables, or if you check your email later, you'll see that you can either donate through our district, which will spread donations out evenly across the counties within our district, or you can donate through our club, and then the donations will stay in our local, our club's local area. So those are the two pathways. But if you want to donate either way, you can either follow the link in the email, use the QR code on the flyers, or you can write a check and you can give that check to Jennifer Best. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will answer your questions. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Jim Farmer, do you want to brag about your successes? Good.
As you know, this past weekend was our bowling event, and despite the best efforts of Dave Kittredge and myself, we made almost $5,000 on this event. So we want to thank all those who helped. There's a sheet on your table which lists on the back all of our major sponsors, which include Cam Taylor, Phil and Greg Giesler, who have supported this event from the beginning, Darnell Perkins and his organization, OSAIC, big supporters, Apple and Hellsat, that's Jeff Apple and his wife Heather, Paul and Apple, and then Joe, his law firm, Carlisle Fashion Working. Let's give a big hand to our major sponsors. Thank you so much. Our lane sponsors are also listed on the back. Most of them you can probably make out. And then on the other side, we list all the people who helped. And every year I omit somebody, and this year's award winner was Jennifer Best, who helped us a lot in a lot of ways, and I should have listed her there, and I'm sorry for that. But she also donated you will notice on the other side, she gave $100 on behalf of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, so wasn't that appropriate? So I guess that's it, except for the fact that our winners were two teams entered by Jim Allen won first and second place on behalf of the Worthington Resource Pantry, who now won $1,750 out of all this. So they were the big winners. And then the Ohio Railway Museum, who showed up for the second year, they were mad they didn't win last year, but this year they got $500, so they were happy.
I love it. Thank you. A lot of work goes into that, and that was great. I do have a suggestion for next year. Best dressed team. Is that okay?
Just because you had shirts, you want that.
Yeah.
There's one final thing. I have to issue a warning to all of you. There is a gentleman lurking within this club who masquerades as a Presbyterian minister. But he is, in fact, a semi-professional athlete who can drive a golf ball 320 yards, and he bowled over two.
At least twice in a row, because we were next to you last year. We won't divulge his identity, but I just have one other announcement, I think. And I think we'll hear more from other committees of this club who may want to drive this, but we got an offer from our friends in the Worthington AM Club to maybe participate as marshals in the Dublin Veterans Day Parade. Dublin AM, what did I say? I didn't mean that. Dublin AM Club, thank you, sorry. Yes, it was. So more on that later, but if this sounds like something you want to mobilize folks for in your committee or that you want to get involved in. Yes, I don't know what I mean. Yes. It could be that, but it's not. It's, I don't know what it is at all, but this is going to be a great thing, whatever it is and whenever it is. And whomever we're affiliated with in that. So keep your eye out for actual information. All right. I'm gladly handing this over to our sergeant, and please don't give it back. Thank you, Teresa.
Joe.
$1.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. It's been a minute. Do we have any happy dollars? Okay, Jerry.
And I'm putting in $2, and they're both for Jim Farm. Because he wanted to buy raffle tickets, so he put his money in the pot. Then he complained, "You didn't give me any tickets." While Charlie, the nicest guy with the raffle tickets that we have. And so Charlie is giving out tickets to a number of people who were ahead of him. But he still complained. And then he won. Complained he didn't get any tickets. Then he won the raffle. And then he was embarrassed to win. So he just donated it to the bank, which was pretty daggone good. So I'll put in the $3 so you can't get me anymore.
All right, there we go. Any other happy dollars? I don't know if that was happy or critical. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
On Jim Farm, off to Florida for a month.
All right, Roger. Anybody else have good, happy news today? Go ahead, Ro.
Leaving Saturday for Iceland.
Ooh,
It's warmer there than it is here.
and it'll be warm, right? Go ahead, Dawn.
For ice.
You guys used to go to spring training in Arizona, so.
Wonderful.
Warmer there than it is.
Wonderful. All right, before I start, I have a $10 bill because I missed Super Bowling. I haven't been here for a minute, and I'm genuinely happy about a lot of things that are going well in my life. I had successful knee surgery, so I'm good. So here's my $10. Make it up for lost time. So today is and Alan helped me with some of this. Today is National Sweater Day. If you don't have a sweater on, put $1 in. Today is National Hemp Day. If anybody uses any hemp product, CBD, THC, Mary Jane, anything, any hemp related,
Does college count?
yes, put $1
A
in.
long time ago.
Doesn't matter. This one I'm proud of. Today is, I can't even read with my glasses on, Girls and Women's Sports Day. So if anybody celebrates girls and women in sports, has anybody related to them that's involved in a sport, and celebrates today, put $1 in. Who makes homemade soup? Today is National Homemade Soup Day. If you don't make your own soup, put $1 in. And today is Thank a Mail Carrier Day. Has anybody thanked their mail carrier today? All right, everybody put $1 in for that one then. Who is rooting on the Seahawks this weekend? Put $1 in. Put $1 in. Who's rooting on the Patriots? All right, put $1 in. Everybody wins today. Thank you.
Well, the person who was supposed to introduce our speaker gave that job to another person who is also not here. So you get me again. Let's see how bad I can butcher this. Are you ready? Our speaker is Joe Blundo. He and I had the honor of overlapping at the Dispatch for part of 1978 when he was a reporter and I was a delivery boy. So he's had a distinguished career there as a reporter, editor, and columnist, and has done various other things of great note thereafter, which you may hear a little bit about today. So I am pleased to be your substitute introducer. Joe, please don't trip over these cords. Can't do this if you. Yeah.
Ever used one of these before?
Probably.
Let's just to go to the next slide.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I've spoken to this group before, but I don't remember what I said. So it must not have been too bad because you had me back. So as you heard, as Joe said, I spent 41 years on the staff of the Dispatch. So I walked in as a 24-year-old and walked out at 65. Nobody does that anymore, right? But that's how it was. I left the staff in 2019. I continued to write the column for a few years thereafter on a limited basis, like once a week and then once a month. Then I thought, well, if it goes to once a year, there's no point. So I cut it off at that point. And now I write on Substack.com. So if anybody reads Substack.com, you just go on there and you subscribe to the people you want to read, and subscriptions are free, and mine's free. So no, I'm working cheap. So a lot of what I write is political satire aimed in a certain direction, which I won't reveal because half of you will not like me after I do. So, no, I'm kidding. Well, I was going to call this I called this presentation "Columbus, You Amuse Me," but now I'm going to edit it on the fly and say "Columbus, You Delight and Amuse Me," because of the big snow. You know, the big snow reminded me that there's a streak of kindness in Columbus that's very uplifting. People in Columbus can be really nice. You know, they really can. And we saw that after the storm. I saw a lot of it. You know, neighbors shoveling out their neighbors' driveways, and strangers jumping out of their cars to push somebody's car out of a snowdrift, and people delivering food and just stuff like that is just nice to see. And I read a lot of social media posts about it. People were talking about how much better it made them feel about humanity to see those things happening. And so anyway, being a columnist, I have a theory about this. Some of this might just be Midwestern niceness, maybe. But the other thing is that I think it's kind of in our DNA, because we've been the state capital since 2012, right? I mean, we were created as the state capital. And so what the state capital is in charge of taking care of people who need taken care of, right? So we have these institutions like the School for the Blind and the School for the Deaf, and we had this mammoth institution up on the hilltop for developmentally disabled people, which we called them by a ruder name at the time, but that's what it was for, and things like that. So we're just kind of used to the idea that we bear some responsibility for our neighbors, and I think that has something to do with being the state capital. So, we grouse about property taxes, but we're pretty good about approving school levies. And, if there's ever a children's services levy on the ballot, I have never seen a children's services levy not pass. They always pass. Adam H, likewise, libraries, likewise. So, we support important things like that. But yes, we're also amusing. We are amusing, and I'm going to talk about that now. Columbus is full of quirks and peculiarities. I have a list of 1,000 things that are funny about Columbus, but I don't have time for that. So I'm going to give you 995. All right. No, but I'll give you a few that stand out. And here's a few. So I moved here in 1978. And one of the first things I noticed is that, holy cow, people don't know where they live here. And why is that? It's because of, where's that thing at? Overlapping boundaries. So Central Ohio is this incredible mishmash of school districts, cities, and villages, and mailing addresses, and none of them match the other one, right? They don't correspond to each other. So you ask someone where they live, and there will be a pause while they pull the information together. And they'll say something like this. Well, we're in the city of Columbus, but it's the Westerville School District. And we have a Gahanna mailing address. And Blendon Township is our fire department. And our trash is picked up by the Peoria, Illinois Sanitation Department. Those boundaries. And now, of course, we lap into other counties. So it just keeps getting more and more confusing. What else amuses me? So Columbus was searching for an image when I got here in 1978. All these years later, we're a metropolitan area of more than 2 million people, and we're still searching for an image. It's not easy to be that large and remain anonymous. I almost want to say that we should be famed for our anonymity. It occurred to me a while back, though, that all those years of attempting to acquire an image have taught us what doesn't work. So here's one thing that doesn't work. Tourism slogans and nicknames. So here's a few from down through the years. Arch City was inspired by the original Short North Arches from the late 1800s. Good old Columbus Town was something Mayor George Carb called us years and years back. All-American City was something that Mayor Sensenbrenner touted us as. And then we got into the tourism slogans big time. Columbus, we're making it great. Columbus, more than you dream. Columbus. And Columbus more than you dream. I got there twice. All right. Lots of dreaming. Oh, that was supposed to say, catch you in Columbus. Catch you in Columbus. That's the most recent slogan I'm aware of. The problem with tourism slogans is that they're pretty easy to pick apart. So doesn't we're making it great sound like it's not great already, right? Doesn't more than you dreamed hint at low expectations. Doesn't catch you in Columbus, invite someone to respond. Well, I wouldn't be caught dead in Columbus. What else doesn't work to acquire an image? Having a college football team has not worked, has not given us an image. Now, have you noticed that a lot of the nation's college football powers are located in relatively small towns? Tuscaloosa, Alabama, State College, PA, Norman, Oklahoma, College Station, Texas, Bloomington, Indiana, of late. Why hasn't having one of the nation's premier football teams made us better known? Maybe college football says small town to tourists, and they don't come here. What else hasn't worked? Bragging about our size. We are the 15th largest city in the United States. That's true. Bigger than Denver, bigger than San Francisco and Seattle. But who goes around bragging about being in 15th place? When they start handing out medals at the Olympics this week, the 15th place finishers will not be on the podium. And yes, we can claim to be bigger than Seattle when measured by population within city limits. By the more relevant measure, which is metropolitan area, we're half the size of Seattle. But don't tell anybody here, they won't like that. What else hasn't worked? Being a bit of a tech hub. We're loaded with data centers, Amazon warehouses, a partially built microchip factory. But honestly, how is that supposed to give us an image? It's not like these places have distinctive architecture or legendary fun spots like Bourbon Street or something. Quite the opposite. They're big, anonymous boxes that would rather not be bothered by visitors. Most of us will never see the inside of a data center. If being the headquarters of Honda, Nationwide, and Victoria's Secret didn't put us on the map, how is an Amazon warehouse going to do it? Being a state capital has also not done it, but we're in good company there. Here's some Midwestern state capitals that don't have an image. Des Moines, Iowa, Springfield, Illinois, Lansing, Michigan, Jefferson City, Missouri, and Topeka, Kansas. Not exactly hotspots. So that hasn't done it. You know what I think the answer to the image issue is? Forget it. You can't force it. I say concentrate on doing things that make life better for the people who already live here. Improve mass transit. I think that would be a big one. Do a better job of protecting the environment. Also a big one. Make the city schools the best in the country. Word will get out. And people here will live better too. All right, well, we can't talk about our quirks without talking about, yes, Buckeye football. It sets the agenda for everything else in life, right? Weddings are scheduled for bye weeks, funerals too, probably, maybe even childbirth, I don't know. It causes us to shout the letters O and H at random places and random times and trust that someone will respond, I-O. And it's the leading source of civic anxiety. It wasn't long after I came to Columbus that I realized something about Buckeye fans. They mourn victories. Happens every year. Ohio State beats an opponent by fewer than 4 touchdowns, and the sports talk shows and internet message boards light up with criticism of the team. Urban Meyer, during a post-game press conference, actually had to issue this reminder to the assembled critics in the media. He actually said, he said that in a press conference after the Buckeyes won, because people were asking him, why didn't you throw the tight end more? I don't know what it was. So here he issued that reminder. Also, the supposed hatred for Michigan really seems like we're trying too hard. I mean, seriously, I'm supposed to hate the colors blue and yellow and avoid using the letter M? Who does that? How much more extreme can we get? Probably a lot more extreme. Any day now, they're going to start insisting that we hate not just Michigan's specific shade of blue, but all shades of blue, including aquamarine, cerulean, and turquoise. They'll also say we have to hate blueberries, the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Kelly Blue Book, Bluey, and the Wild Blue Yonder. The Blue Jackets might get a pass if they make the playoffs. And then And then we're supposed to hate the state itself. Well, I've been to Michigan. It's hard to hate. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got a coastline. You got to love it. There's an apocryphal story that Coach Woody Hayes, faced with an almost empty fuel tank, refused to stop for gas in Michigan, vowing to push the car into Ohio if necessary. It would be a better story if it had been a sputtering plane, but you get the point. We're expected to follow Woody's example by going to extremes to avoid associating in any way with Michigan. So I suppose the next step will be a ban on entities that originated in Michigan, including Kellogg's Corn Flakes, Carhartt overalls, Gerber baby food, Vlasic pickles, and many car brands, and also Madonna, Aretha Franklin, and Magic Johnson. And also, I don't get the gold pants thing. You know, if you beat Michigan, if Ohio State beats Michigan, every Ohio State player gets this little pair of gold pants to put on a key ring. And I'm just like, what is that? What is that supposed to mean? I don't even want to think about it. Anyway. What else do I find amusing? We don't brag enough about some of the really cool things we invented, but we do sometimes brag about stuff we actually didn't invent. You know, Columbus perfected either invented or perfected some really cool things, such as the Xerox machine. To cite one that's an outstanding example. I mean, what a revolutionary invention. It was invented by a guy from New York named Chester Carlson, but he brought it to Battelle in Columbus, which turned it into a commercially viable product. So they really perfected it. Why don't we celebrate this more? I don't know. It was a device that revolutionized the workplace. Why is there no Xerox Memorial Plaza in Columbus? You know, like a landscape park at the center of which sits a bronze replica of a Xerox machine with a tiny digital readout that says paper jam. That'd be appropriate. From time to time, I run across the claim that the banana split was invented in Columbus. Have you heard this? Yeah, supposedly at Fuller's drugstore, which used to sit near downtown in 1904. I called an ice cream historian to check it out. There are ice cream historians to ask about it. And he said, oh, every city thinks it invented the banana split. And all the stories date back to the early 20th century when imported bananas were a trendy thing, because that's about the time they started flooding the markets in the US. So soda fountain managers all over the country saw these soon to expire bananas and thought, hey, I could put some ice cream on that and sell it. Well, turns out that the city with the best claim on the banana split invention is Latrobe, PA, where a guy named David Strickler not only paired bananas with ice cream, he also used the signature oblong dish to hold it, and he dubbed it the banana split. End of discussion, I would say. The banana split that was supposedly invented here was called the 567 after the address of Fuller's drugstore. Not quite as catchy, maybe. Although now that 6-7 slang, it might have worked. But anyway. Other things Columbus occasionally claims to have invented. The automatic bowling pin setter. The things that puts the pins up. And the shopping center. If we invented the pin setter, the International Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum in Arlington, Texas, has not heard about it. It gives the glory for that invention to the AMF company, which perfected it based on a patent held by a guy named Gottfried Schmidt of Pearl River, New York. We also didn't invent the shopping center, although you often hear the claim in regard to Town and Country Shopping Center near Whitehall. There were many shopping centers by the time Town and Country got built in 1947. It was distinctive for being among the first to have suburban branches of downtown stores and nighttime hours. But first shopping center, no. Here are 3 things we definitely invented that we definitely ought to brag about. Who knows what the Heartmobile is? Anybody know? Yeah, what is it?
The first EMS unit.
Yeah, it was the first mobile cardiac care unit, basically, in the country, started by a doctor at Ohio State. Absolutely a life-saving device. I mean, on the 50th anniversary of it, which would have been, I think 2019, because it came out in 1969. I interviewed a couple of the first paramedics who worked on it, and they said it was just it was miraculous that, you know, they had been paramedics under the old system where you just pick people up and haul them to the hospital as fast as you could. You didn't administer drugs. You didn't do a cardiogram and send the results to the hospital while you're on your way to the hospital. So they saved a lot of lives. It was an amazing thing. And as far as to let the something's talking in here. Huh?
We got somebody on their iPhone.
Yeah, that wasn't part of the act, but I'm glad I got loud. I was heckled by Zoom, yeah. All right. That's the Central Ohio Fire Museum, yeah, the Hartmobile. Yeah, they restored it, and you can see it there. The slow-moving vehicle sign is the orange triangle that you see on the back of Amish buggies and other kind of farm equipment. And that was invented by a guy in agricultural engineering at Ohio State. And he did a study of what is the most visible symbol from a distance. And he found that the triangle was the most visible, and especially the orange triangle. So he convinced the state to sort of experiment with using these things. And again, a lot of lives were saved. It cut down on rear end collisions by a pretty sizable percentage. And now it's used all over the country. And that was also about that same time period, the late 60s. Anybody know what the paragon is? It's a tomato. So Alexander Livingston of Reynoldsburg was the breeder of what's generally considered the first commercially successful tomato. So before him, tomatoes were not as sweet and they were more fragile. He was a good agricultural kind of dude who figured out how to breed a better tomato. And Reynoldsburg used to call itself the birthplace of the tomato. I mean, it was on the city signs. And, you know, I used to think, well, tomatoes aren't born, you know, but I mean, do they still do that? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was a great invention. And he went on to have this successful seed business that still exists. There's still Livingston Seeds. And so, yeah, those were three things that came out of Columbus. And there's lots of others. Some I've read that we invented the first cement mixer. You know, the idea that you would have a cement mixer on wheels that rotated while you're driving to where the cement needed to go, the concrete is what I should say. But I haven't been able to nail that down for sure. But anyway, we are an inventive city. Thanks not in small part to places like Battelle and Chemical Abstracts and Ohio State. I mentioned we also have the Ohio State Fair here, which I find to be a wonderful thing. And I just wanted to read you just an excerpt from this book. This is a book of collected columns that came out in 2019. Yeah, 2019. Every big public event in Central Ohio has a hidden theme. Ohio State football games are all about devotion to ritual. Besides the score and the weather, very little changes from game to game. Music, cheers, color scheme. Fans hate change. They like to brag about tailgating in the exact same spot for 35 years. Red, white, and boom is all about bravery. You show your mettle by going downtown with 500,000 other people and finding a place to park. The All-American Quarter Horse centers on sexiness. It's heavy with sequins, ostentatious belt buckles, and equine studs. And the Ohio State Fair, it's about brawn. It's a brawn-a-thon. Consider the 2011 fair has So I wrote this in 2011. The 2011 fair featured Mama Lou, a strong woman, the Omega-4 strong men who were Christian evangelists who lift heavy stuff, bench pressing exhibitions, wrestling, boxing, roller derby, bear-like men sawing logs. I haven't even mentioned the giant squash, the giant iced tea, the giant Smokey the Bear, or the 500-pound chocolate pig. Why this outpouring of muscularity? Some would say state pride. I say it's a natural reaction to being shown up by animals. Humans are the least impressive species at the state fair, unless you count politicians. The cows are massive displays of bovine muscles and udders. The hogs are startlingly big. The horses are magnificent. Even the chickens strutting around in their little cages looks like they'd kick your butt if you gave them half a chance. People strolling the midway with a Belgian waffle and an excess of abdominal fat fare poorly in comparison. The best we can say for ourselves is that we're well marbled. So I love the state fair. All right, and then finally, let's bring this back to weather. The funniest thing about Columbus is snow. Columbus when it snows. And we don't even have much in the way of weather here. I've often said I can describe our weather most of the year in 7 words. Partly cloudy, 40% chance of rain. So any deviation from that placid normality, such as 12 inches of snow, sends us into a panic. Actually, it doesn't take 12 inches. Alarm us with a prediction. We become alarmed with a prediction for as little as half an inch. And if it's half an inch or more, we're coming for the toilet paper, right? We're coming for it. I explained some of our snow behavior in also in this book. I explained that snow creates a lot of buzz. Rain is like a gloomy relative who shows up all too often and dampens the mood, but snow is a celebrity. People start talking about its arrival days in advance. It's a special guest that demands special preparations, so everyone hurries to stock up on provisions. Does necessity explain the rush to the grocery store? Please. It's not as if we're going to be stranded in the mountains like the Donner Party. No one in Columbus lives more than 5 minutes from a Kroger. The grocery rush is all about snow anticipation syndrome, that slightly giddy feeling we get when patches of white show up on a Doppler radar. And then further on, I said, snow causes us to become theatrical. We don't have snowplow drivers, we have snow warriors. We don't have parking restrictions, we have snow emergencies. The schools don't take snow days, they take calamity days. White flakes falling from gently from the sky would not seem to merit such intense language. On the other hand, when else will nature allow us to exercise our drama genes? Bears no longer roam the central Ohio countryside. Flood walls contain the rivers. Crabgrass is under control. So we've promoted snow to the star in our nature tales. It fills a need and fills our driveways at the same time. And that is what I find amusing about Columbus. Thanks. Any questions? Yeah.
Did the Paragon business happen?
Late 1800s.
Thank you.
Yeah, late 1800s. There's a lot online about Alexander Livingston. If you look him up, there's a lot online. I think the Dispatch just did a story recently too about his history. They had a picture of his seed company, which was located downtown Columbus somewhere. So, yeah. Anyone else? Well, thank you all very much. Good to be with you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe.
It would not be a meeting of our club without Charlie distributing raffle proceeds.
And then, would you be so kind as to pull a number and see if we hear the winner somewhere in here?
Not yet.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna
What'd we do?
the First part, but go ahead.
No, I don't want to do it now
Okay.
because
Pulling ace spades.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah, this is a hangover from our last meeting in which there were no cards.
Okay.
And Jerry did not win it. So there, good. That improves your chances, whomever you are about to be.
One and done. Hey, last four, 1-8-7-6. I don't believe that. That would be mine.
what can I tell you? I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
$60 for you, Jerry.
That was only 55 last week.
Yeah.
And
And
thank you.
now the ace of spades is, if I can, 1192. Tom, will you just kind of, maybe somebody other than Jerry?
Ah. I like your optimism. I think that's good. Uh-oh.
9004. What color was the ticket? Green. Yeah. Yeah. So I get them both of these.
All right. We don't audit this process. It's all honest.
What's the, how much is in the pot?
1192.
So close.
Oh,
Show the people. There you go. Okay, 2 off. Okay, thank you. And that brings us to the conclusion of our program. The 4-way test. We would rise. Of the things we think, say, and do, first. Second. Third. And fourth. Thanks, everybody. Return your badges. Next meeting, 2 weeks from now, we'll be thanking everybody who's been a Rotary Foundation donor and having a club event around that. So stand by for Alan's show next time. Thanks. We're dismissed. Hello.
My son's though, I see how
Oh, yeah. What a kind of, I guess.
Get your email changed in my house.
Yeah, and I may be changing it again.
Well, are you?
Yeah.
I'll wait then.
But,
I have several old emails from you.
oh, yeah,
So when it pops up in my system, I'm going,
it's the wrong one. Yeah. Like if it's LFG,
Yeah,
you have to link it.
yeah,
And Lincoln no longer.
yeah.
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 Yeah, because
LFG's one and what's the other one?
Osage,
Remembers all of them.
yeah. And I still have Google. I still have Google, yeah, that's my personal one.
Okay.
And I think I might go with that.
Yeah.
Because eventually everything else will be
That's the problem I
gone.
had with that DAC-DB. They
Uh,
had my old AT&T email,
right,
which I only use for personal stuff.
right.
So my Gmail account, and I finally found it. That's why my other one was like shut off. No, it says you don't want to be on this committee. And no, it's just because it has an old email that doesn't work.
Right.
You know, that's why.
Well, and yeah, it's not the easiest thing to change it off of that DAC DB, and you have to do RI too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so those
Yeah,
are
you can
two
go to RI as
completely
well.
systems. Yeah,
But it does make it easy to get a hold of the committee,
yeah,
because you can, boom, hit the committee, it'll email everybody. So I do like that feature.
yeah. It's
So
really
it's
nice.
taken a long time. I remember when Mike Brown first put that together. He's the one who built that.
Why am I doing this? I don't need this, right?
Piece of shit. Who's that?
It's hard. It's hard.
Joe Blunden? Oh, is that what drives it?
I don't know what this was for.
That might drive that.
Does oh yeah, it does fit in.
Yep.
Thank you. I cut this.